Hello everyone, welcome to English Shorthand classes. Exercise second. Get ready for the dictation. Start. As you, Mr. President, have said in your address, there can be no economic progress in conditions of instability, uncertainty, and insecurity. Stop. Any attempt at bringing about a great measure of economic equality will receive a setback in any such environment and in all situations in which law and order breaks down. It is the poorer sections of the society who suffer most than the affluent section. Stop. But I would like to draw your attention to one thing. Stop. Stability cannot be and should not be equated with the perpetuation of the status quo. Stop. Stability cannot be brought about if the present inequalities are allowed to remain or to grow. Stop. And unless we take note of the aspirations of the people and engineer change peacefully, we shall be overtaken by events and by far greater violence than you have seen today. Stop. Today, there is an atmosphere of restlessness in our country and also in every other country in the world and even in the most affluent of societies, as you may have noticed in the media. Stop. And countries that were quite until recently considered to be heavens of peace and prosperity do not seem to be quite so now. Stop. A new generation is coming up into prominence in all the countries whose attitudes and beliefs differ from those of the older generation. Stop. In all spheres of life, therefore, whether it be politics or business and industry, we must take note of this new development and refashion our policies and programs so as to respond more rapidly to the needs of the changing times. Stop. Your speech, Mr. President, clubs together the concentration of economic power and political power and considers both to be undesirable. Stop. Now there are adequate safeguards in our political setup against the concentration of political power. Stop. Our federal system, with its allocation of powers as between the center and the states, is by itself a corrective against any trend towards the concentration of political power. Stop. We have now the phenomenon of different political parties holding power in different states. Stop. And in the national spheres also we have a powerful opposition subjecting every move of the government to the closest and most critical scrutiny. Stop. But businessmen should ask themselves frankly whether there are similar correctives against abuses following from the concentration of economic power. Stop. What action has been taken in our country to build up active organizations of shareholders, consumers, and small businessmen stop. In the absence of organizations of this nature exercising a countervailing influence against the concentration of economic power stop. Government had to step in whether it is the nationalization of banks or the monopolies legislation which is now on the anvil stop.